When the fish are biting and you need to know when, where, and how to catch them, well, you've come to the right place. North Carolina Saltwater Weekly, where we talk fishing. And now, from the beautiful beaches of southeastern North Carolina, please welcome your host and mine, Captain Cook.
Well, hey guys, Captain Cook here. So glad you could join me. Today we're going to be talking about, I guess we call it homemade tackle. So really that's what it is. So you guys know your high-low rigs, you get beads on them, right? I'm actually going to show you one right here. Let's show you one right here. Now this is a store-bought, I've had this thing for years, a store-bought high-low rig. All right. You can see the little green bead that comes with it. And the thing about these, there's just too much stuff on here. Right? There's just too much. You've got your barrel swivel, your where your hooks go, and this is just too much. This is just too much stuff right here. Just too much. Just crap. You don't need that. Tie your own, and the less hardware you have on, the less shiny stuff, the less black stuff, the better. But really what I have started doing, you can call me frugal, call me cheap, whatever. But it's really, why I started doing it was, I guess, the challenge. So I started making my own beads. So there's a green bead. There's a red bead. There's an orange bead and a little deeper orange bead. So as you can see, these are the same size as those, and been working with them, about a month or so now. Been trying to print them up, and I'm working pretty good. It's working pretty good right now. But besides, doing beads, and the good thing about 3D printing, I can do these beads in any color I want. I don't have to do just green, red, orange. I can do any color I want and test them and see how they work. But I've also been working on something else. I've been working on floats. Now these floats, I don't use floats a lot, but when I do fish for Florida Pompano, I do use floats. So I said, hey, let me try to design a float that's not just old foam float that you buy out there, and see how it works. So I did. And there it goes. Also did one in green. I have some in red as well. Now I had to work a lot when I designed this, and to get in this thing where the buoyancy was really good, because it's not foam, right? It's not foam. You guys that are in the 3D printing world know these are printed in PLA, which is a polylactic acid. We all know they absorb water, absorb moisture. Let's put it that way. But after testing these, I found out, yeah, they do absorb moisture, but they don't absorb it to the point that they're saturated. And these things are so light. Now, when I printed the beads are at 100% infill, so they're solid. Now, when I printed these floats, they couldn't be solid or they sink. So I had to get them light as possible. So they have a 10% infill and very thin wall. So what I had to do is, generally when we print in the 3D world, we use a 0.04 nozzle. And these are actually a 0.02 nozzle, where I could actually drop the wall thickness down to a 0.01. Very thin, very light. They float very well. And I have tested them in water to see how much water they absorbed. It was not enough to even, you couldn't even tell any difference. They float very well. So what I want to do is I want to send these out to some people to test, some surf fishermen, and now while we do this orange is the main ones, these orange ones, because this actually replicates and looks like the eggs from a sand flea or a mole crab. So that's why we like using that color. So what I want to do, I want to send these out to some surf fishermen, have them test them for me. I just want an honest test from them to see how they work and see if I want to continue on producing them and using them. And of course, I'm going to use them as well. Now, what I'll show you now is a high-low rig that I tied. But before I do that, I'm going to show you another thing I made as well. This is a boom arm that you can put on your high-low rigs that you tie. And what it does, it will hold your line out away from your main rig line. And I'll show you that. Let's bring it over. So right here, as you can see, there's a boom arm. I have a green bead on it and a circle hook. And what these do is, as you can see, we'll hold it out a little bit, but it holds your line, your loop, your drop loop away from your main rig, your main line there. And I've seen these made with, I've seen people make them with straws, stirrers, coffee stirrers. I'm thinking, hell, I can make this. Now this is printed in a transparent PETG. And it looks a little white right now, but when it's in water, the transparency really goes away, because you really want the less the better. You don't want all this hardware on this thing. Now we'll move down the line. We'll get down to the, knocked them everywhere, didn't I? And that's how they roll. So we'll bring it down this way. So here you go. Here's one without no boom arm, but the orange float, circle hook. And what it's going to do is when you put it in the water, it's going to float the bait as high as it can with the weight of the bait, but it's going to float as high as it can. So, being frugal, probably had nothing to do with it. I could buy all this stuff if I wanted to. But the challenge is making it yourself and see if it works. So, like I said, I'm going to send these out to some surf fishermen and have them test it for me. Of course, I'll be testing it and see how they like it. And hopefully it works good. Hopefully it does. So guys, thanks so much for joining me. This is just something that I want to put out there to you guys. Hey, I think making it yourself, you get more satisfaction out of it. And hopefully it works. So you surf fishermen out there, if I know you, you may be getting a package from Captain Cook and wanting you to test these. So guys, thanks so much for joining me. So you guys, you take care. I'll definitely see you on the next one. This is Captain Cook signing out. Catch you guys later.
Well, that's going to about wrap up another week of North Carolina Saltwater Weekly. Be sure and tune back in with us where we can keep you informed on the best places to cast, catch, and fish right here in beautiful southeastern North Carolina.